Hi guys, welcome back. I hope you are all doing well. So I'm really excited about today's video because I've been wanting to do it for the longest time. I'm going to be showing you 7 of my easiest and most affordable plants with wow factor worth having in your collection. So let's start with the first plant. If you are a sucker for a plant with pink in it, instead of going down the philodendron pink princess road, which I have tried with this plant for 2.5 years, and this is what I'm currently left with. I've chopped this plant back, and yeah, every time I go to actually get rid of this plant, it gives me a pink leaf, which is so frustrating, but it is just, yeah. So instead of going down that route, why not go down this route? Look at this gorgeous plant. This is a Stenanthe tricolour, or some people in some countries I think it's called the Tri-Star. Sorry, it is a little bit dusty, but the leaves on her are absolutely amazing. If you want green and pink leaves, go for the Stenanthe. The other amazing thing about this plant is the underside of the leaf. Absolutely stunning. Look at her in the light. Oh my gosh, I've had this plant for 2.5 years, for exactly the same amount of time, actually a little bit longer than the Pink Princess, and I've never had a problem with this plant. Now, I am not great with the Morania, I think that's how you pronounce it, the prayer plants. I tend to struggle with them because they need so much watering, but this guy can tolerate me and my forgetfulness. And I mean, it's also lived in really cold conditions and survived and thrived. Last winter it was looking a little shocking living out in the hallway, but it bounced right back as soon as spring came round, and it's just so forgiving and so tolerant of everything that I put it through. And I love these new, if I could just show you the new leaf that's coming through right here. Isn't that pretty? And yeah, I mean, like, actually some of the leaves are a little damaged, but from a distance she looks absolutely amazing. And I'm just so pleased that I still have this plant in my collection. Let me just put her down. She is quite big and heavy, so yeah. This is my first plant. So what do? I tend to water this plant probably whenever I remember, really, which is probably about every 10 days, because it kind of lives with a load of other plants that are drought tolerant. And so for that reason, I do tend to forget to do it once a week. But yeah, it would appreciate being done once a week, most definitely. I have currently started using water that has been purified, and I balanced the pH to like 6, yeah, 5.5, 6, that kind of range. So I have been treating this one a bit better throughout the winter than I did in previous years, and I definitely can see that it has appreciated that. And I've been giving it cow mag as well, just because I was getting some weird little deformed leaves at one stage, but the cow mag has definitely worked. So I'm so pleased with this plant. Let's move on to another plant. So the next plant I want to show you is my Mystylis Exotica. And although she's looking quite small at the moment, I recently chopped this plant back. If I can remember the video, I will put it up in one of the corners. Again, she's also quite dusty. We need to do some cleaning here. So sorry, the last plant that I showed you is in, I would say it's kind of like in a cocoa core perlite. It might have a bit of bark, but probably not. Yeah, so like in a type of soil that would absorb a lot of water, which is probably why I'm not having to water it so much. This plant is in pond, and it's in non-drainage as well. So yeah, it's got quite a long reservoir here. I might actually reduce that. It doesn't need to be quite as deep as it is. I'd like to get this one into a new pot. I've had this one definitely for about a year, and it has lived in the hallway as well and tolerated the really cold temperatures. So yeah, I think it's quite a hardy plant. The leaves are absolutely gorgeous. Check that out. They are stunning. I would say that this isn't the easiest plant to propagate, although I have found a way. So I will be revealing my secrets when it comes to propagating. I'll probably do that in a video when I do all my prop boxes. That will be coming very, very soon. But yeah, it grows very, very quickly. It grows like a beast. You barely have to do anything. It's quite tolerant if you forget to water. And just, yeah, just a breeze compared to the other Scindapsus. The Silvery Ann I find a little more difficult. This one I find I can put in, oh no, just hoovered. Yeah, this one I find that I can put into like, not really low light, but it can tolerate being moved around. So yeah, that's my Scindapsus Exotica. And I definitely, if I were to start my collection again, the plants that I'm showing you today will definitely come back. I would definitely buy them again. So yeah, and if you love the kind of mintiness of certain plants, then you'll definitely get that factor with this. The leaves grow so big. I mean, it really does have that wow factor, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. But yeah, this is my second plant. I love this plant so much. Yeah, if you don't have one, get yourself one of those. The third plant on my list, really easy plant. I've actually got quite a bit of this plant floating around. This is my Drana, and I think it's the Drana Marginata, if I'm not mistaken. Check out the green with the fiery red around the edges. Isn't that pretty? You can see it in the light. It's just so gorgeous. And such an easy plant to propagate. So this was actually a much larger plant, and it was living in this room. I've had this plant since 2018. So this is actually probably the oldest plant in my collection. If you don't have one of these, get yourself one. I mean, they're just so fun. Firstly, you can put this in absolutely any type of lighting, as long as there's enough light, of course, but it can tolerate being in a lower light. It will just grow slower. And what I'm doing with this one, oh, I'm running ahead of myself. So yeah, I had like a full-on tree. It was growing in this room. It grew so quickly throughout the summer. It doubled in size. So I thought, right, you know, my collection was getting bigger, and I decided to chop and propagate that plant. So I do have part of the plant in the hallway, and this is like part of the smaller section, and this is actually, this little dude at the bottom actually is a brand new stem. So when you cut your Drana, like normally it has like kind of 3 sprogs or 4 sprogs kind of coming off of a long branch like this, and then you'll have like those bushes, these bushes. So if you cut right at the base, a new one will come out from there. So that's kind of what's going on here. That's why I've got this little baby at the bottom. And with this one, it's in soil. Like I said, I do have another one. It's in the hallway currently, and that one's in a chunky pond, and they both look amazing. This one I'm trying to get it to bend, so I probably went a little bit crazy with the bend so far, but now I'm trying to get it to go this way. We shall see. But you can actually see in the pot like that the stem of it really did bend towards the light. It really is just reaching towards that light. So now I've got it turned away from the light like this to instigate like a bit of a bend. I want that kind of, you know, that classic palm tree, in the Bahamas type of look with a winding, you know, stem. That's what I'm going for. And yeah, it's really easy to take care of. I'm probably watering this one, especially in the winter. I'm doing this one about once a month. In the summer, I'll be doing this every 2 weeks, and very forgiving. If you forget to water this plant, it's not really going to show any drastic signs of misery. It's not even going to, probably wouldn't even give you a brown leaf, to be honest. Yeah, just a really, really cool plant to have. Fast growing if you put it in highlight. So if that's what you want, then this is the perfect plant for you. If you want a fast growing plant, but then if you can control it with the lighting and slow it right down. So this is, what number are we on? I think number 3. Yeah, this is number 3. Okay, so number 4 is actually right next to me, and I think I'm going to take the camera off the stand because there are a couple more around the room that I want to show you, but I want to leave them in their spots. So, and yeah, this one's pinned against the wall, so it'll be easier for me to just, yeah, let's get on with it. So I just wanted to show you the other part of my Dressiana that I propagated. And it lives out here in the hallway, which is like about 15 centigrade, sometimes lower, and it can tolerate that. Do have a little bit of like browning leaves. That happens. I mean, it's the lower leaves, so I'm not too worried about that. And oh, I just really love this aesthetics of it just hanging here. And it just kind of gives this hallway like a nice little jungle vibe. And just, yeah, I've got less things on the floor, which is fabulous. You don't really need a lot of things on the floor in the hallway. You get some really gorgeous light from a south-east facing window. Well, it's a skylight. And it's in a chunky pond. You can see it's absolutely loving it. Check out those roots. I mean, those roots are nuts. I use like an old olive oil bottle. It's a plastic bottle. And I did that basically because firstly, I didn't want it in something clear where I'm going to start seeing a lot of algae in. If you look at the vessel, you can see there's no algae in there. So most definitely if you're using clear vessels, then you tend to get more algae. But yeah, I'm actually quite surprised at how algae free it is. And if and when I need to take it out of this vessel and give it a larger one, I can just cut it out. It is just an old recycled plastic olive oil bottle, so, you know, I'll not be upset if I have to throw it out. And oh yeah, so we've got 2 branches in there. Oh my gosh, every time I look at it, I really love this plant. I'd like to do something similar for the other side of this room. I've got a Echeveria Aquatica out there, also in pond, not doing so well. So I'd like to replace this one. And maybe, I don't know, maybe this, the Dressianas, there's so many different types. And I might get one that has like a larger, flatter leaf, just for like a little contrast on the other side. There's some really nice ones with variegation as well. If I find any photos, I'll pop them on this side. But yeah, here she is. She's living life out here in the hallway, out in the cold. I mean, it does get very cold out here. And all she has shown me is one yellowing leaf. I do tend to forget to water the plants in this room. Let's see, shall I take her off so you can have a look at her in the light? Oh, hang on. Get some light on her so you can see those edges. I mean, she's quite an impressive plant. Yeah, I definitely need to pick that yellowing one off, but all in all, she's quite a healthy plant. Oh, there you go, you can see the red now. A little bit. Put her back. And yeah, how long has it been like that? So, I mean, it's definitely been here on the wall for over a year. And yeah, no issues at all. Like, it's in quite a shady spot, so it's definitely not going to grow too quickly, which is what I want. And yeah, I can't say a bad thing about this plant. Definitely in the winter, I have noticed, last winter I got quite a bunch of yellowing leaves. So I think that's just down to lack of sunshine. The sun comes up at about 4:30 and it's down by about 4:30. And this hallway is in complete darkness. So it's probably only getting realistically from around 10 to about 3 the light, this kind of light, which isn't amazing. But yeah, I mean, easy peasy plants, so easy, so tolerant, puts up with my forgetting to water. So that's what I was going to say actually, because these plants are in the hallway, they do tend to get forgotten. Yeah, I kind of walk backwards and I walk past them, you know, on my way to work with every intention when I come back to water, but the others just tend to get priority. But I will be stepping up my game because I would hate to lose this plant. Okay, let's go back into the living room. The next plant I want to show you is my Hoya Pubical. This is one of the first Hoyas I bought, and I've had this one for a good year. So if you love a Hoya, or if you would like to get into Hoyas, sorry, the light is just doing some nutty things. Let's see if I do that. Yeah, if you really want a Hoya, a really nice, easy Hoya that will give you huge, big leaves like this. I mean, that's the size of my hand. I mean, this plant is a stunner. Oh, actually, if I do it from the side, that's a bit easier, isn't it? Yeah, this plant is stunning and just so easy to take care of. Again, you could probably get away with watering this one. If you forget to water it, it's not going to do anything. I've never had a leaf fall off this thing. And I've got it in pon. Do I have any in soil? I think I do have some of this plant in soil. It propagates so easily. It's a really easy propagator. So if you want to buy this plant and even make yourself some money back by selling bits of cuttings, you could go ahead and do that. This plant is so easy. Check out the splashings on some of these leaves. I have seen splashier actually. And then the other thing about this plant is it doesn't actually like highlight. It would definitely prefer to be in medium light. I mean, this is very medium over here. And yeah, so easy. 1, 2, 3. Let me show you another Hoya that I think everyone should have in their collection. So the next Hoya I want to show you is the Crimson Queen. Now, she is, not only is she easy, she's also a really easy bloomer. And as you can see on this plant, that I've actually only had this for about a year. I'll put the correct date up if it's been less than that. But she is full of peduncles, and this one is a new peduncle right here. And there's another really new one right there. She actually only had one peduncle and now she has several. There's another one down here. This is her original peduncle actually. And then that one up here is a new one. And she has this most amazing variegation on the edges. So you know that she's the queen because she's wearing her crown. So the colour is around the edge. What else? This plant is in soil. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. Look at the length of her. She's a beauty. And I actually have more of her down here. This is a propagation from, that's the mother plant that I just showed you. And this part here is a propagation. Let me take her out actually. Check out the white leaves. And I don't know if they're just going to stay white like that, but she's growing really nicely. This one is in pon, as you can see. And that whole stem, I think, is just going to continue being white. Really, really quite amazing plant. Beautiful, beautiful leaves. Needs a bit of a dust. Again, now that the sun's out, you can definitely see that everything needs a bit of dust. But yeah, Crimson Queen, get yourself one of these. Really, really easy to bloom. Okay, the next plant I want to show you is my, so what are we on now actually? I think we've done, I don't even know. This is probably the 6th plant. I'm going to have to stop and count up. But I'm going to show you this one because I've just suddenly realised that actually I don't show this plant a lot, although I absolutely love this plant. It is my jungle cactus. It is an Epiphyllum anglica or angular. I'll put the correct name up. Anguliga or something like this. And this plant has grown like a beast. It's so, so long. All of these kind of tendrils are all brand new. I've had this for a year, definitely. It came with maybe about 4 or 5 stems and it's now just, I've got to put it down, it's so heavy. Yeah, and it's now just a really full pot. I'm watering it probably as frequently as my Dressiana. And yeah, sorry, I didn't tell you about Hoya. Hoya definitely once a week or every 10 days. And the same with the one in the pon. The one that's in pon is actually easier to water because of it's got a reservoir, so I can kind of tell when it needs water or if it has water. Whereas the one with soil, I definitely need to kind of keep on top of watering. Okay, so the next one, which is my jungle cactus, my Epiphyllum anglica. I think that's how you say it. I think that's the correct pronunciation. Oh my gosh, I love this plant. I've had this plant for exactly a year and it has grown like a beast. I think when I got it, it was a rescue actually. It had something like 6 stems and now it is a massive full pot of like trailing jungleness. Check out these zigzags. How crazy are those? Absolutely stunning, stunning plant. And one of the easiest, I would say, out of my jungle cactus collection. This one is a breeze. I mean, you know, you're not going to have any issues with this plant. I would say don't overwater it. But yeah, so with this one, I'm probably watering it every 2 weeks. And it seems pretty happy with that. Sometimes I do forget and I'll squeeze one of the leaves and it's really soft. It's feeling fine at the moment, but yeah, it's just so easy. Just give it a little squeeze. If it's squishy, give it some water. I try not to do that. I try not to wait until it's really soft and squishy. But if I have taken my eye off the ball when it comes to watering, that would be my tactic. So check her out. Yeah. She really does make the collection quite a strong collection in my opinion. I really love her up on that shelf. And the last plant that I'm going to show you is my Epiphyllum Enjoy. I bought this plant at IKEA. It was very reasonably priced. I think it was about £10. So you can definitely find this plant for a very reasonable price. Check out some of these leaves. Now, if you want yourself a variegated plant that can tolerate lower light, this is the one for you. She is stunning. You definitely wouldn't want to put this one in higher light. It does tend to get burnt. I do have a burnt leaf that I can show you when I find it. But oh my gosh, check this out. How stunning is that? She's so, so pretty. This plant has actually been living out in the hallway. And like I said, the hallway is very cold. And you've only got lighting out there between, you know, when the sun rises up until about 4, and then it's in complete darkness. So it gets a very small amount of light. And most definitely I would say that that is medium light, the spot that I had it. I did forget to water this plant for about 2 weeks. When I picked it up, it was just as light as a feather, which is quite bad. And so you can see it has told me naughty, but considering that was 2 weeks with no water and there's only one leaf that I can find so far with any damage on it, and it was in a really cold hallway. Oh, here's the burn from the sun. So yeah, I kind of tried it out. Or did I have it under a plant light? Yeah, I burnt it basically. Yeah, that was in the sunny spot. I do remember. It hasn't been under a plant light yet. So yeah, it will burn if you put it in, you know, if it gets any kind of direct sunlight. It's not a fan of that. But it's perfect for you guys if you do have low light. And check out those pixelated leaves. They're just stunning. One after the next is just so unique. Look at this one. How much white there is. And you just don't get that browning that you get with like your Monstera albos. And you can also, like I said, it's great in lower light. Yeah. Now it's telling me I've overwatered it, which is quite annoying. But yeah, there's kind of like a little bit of damage here and there. But I do treat this plant quite badly. It does tolerate me. And I'm ever so... yeah, I really love this plant. I definitely wouldn't want to remove this from my collection. If I were to start again, I would definitely have this plant because it's just so easy and doesn't give me any stress. Now, I have seen this plant going upwards instead of trailing like this. I've seen it going upwards on a moss pole, and obviously those leaves get bigger. Now, those leaves can get really big. Where is the largest leaf actually? See if I can find one. I mean, they're fairly big, but it would be lovely to get them larger. So I am kind of thinking I might take a cut and check out that leaf. Wow. So, I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, you could literally spend a lot of time just looking at this plant. What is that? Hopefully that's just perlite. But yeah, that is number 7. She is a beauty. So those are my 7 easiest, most affordable plants in my collection. I think the most expensive out of all 7 would have been the Dressiana, only because they do tend to come at quite a height. I think for 4-foot plant of Dressiana, the Marginata, I think that's the right name. Yeah, I think you can get a 4-foot or even a 5-foot plant for about £30. And then with all the others, definitely around £10. So a very affordable bunch of plants. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Do leave that in the comments down below. If you find that you have one of these plants that that you're struggling with, that would also be quite interesting actually, because I do find these, like, I mean, they're the ones that I forget to water, so and they just tolerate me. So, and I've also had them for very long. A lot of them I've had for a very long time, so I have that on my side. Yeah, but do let me know. Maybe there's a plant that I should have included. Yeah. all those comments. I would definitely want to hear from you guys, and I will give you my feedback, most definitely. I look forward to that part. And yeah, do give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, go ahead and do that. I would really appreciate that. I'm actually getting over a cold, or I just got a cold. Excuse me. So yeah, I hope that I didn't talk too quickly, because obviously I'm trying not to cough in between everything. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. The fridge has just started. Yeah, have a fabulous day, and I will see you here again very soon. All right, until then, bye.